Hello, Twisted Cardigan here. I'm showing you a tutorial on how to make a Cheshire Cat hat. These are all the colours that I will be using today. You can pick your own if you wish. First of all, we will be making a basic cat hat that you can find tutorials all over YouTube. I'm using a 3.5mm crochet hook. And I'm going to be making a hat that is for a 6 to 12 months old. First of all, you start by chaining. Obviously starting with a slip stitch first. I am doing as many chains as it takes to stretch to 18 inches. Then to do the base, I'm going to double crochet, and I'm using American turns all the way through this. In the second chain from the hook, that's where I'm going to start. So double crochet in every chain. And for my hat, I'm going to do a rib base, but you can do a regular double crochet base if you wish. And then go all the way to the end. Now I'm going to chain 3 and turn my work. Now, because we're doing on this one a rib base, you do front post and back post double crochets. You do this all along your second row, sorry. So you need your hook through the front of the post, and on the next stitch you put it through the back of your post. All the way to the end. Then I'm doing a third row. You have to make sure that you get the chain right at the very end as well, because sometimes they can get stuck together. Then I'm chaining 3 and turning my work, and do exactly the same as you did with the first 2 rows. And you follow, if you've done a front post, you do a front post. If you've done a back post, you do another back post. Just follow it along. All the way to the end. Now I'm doing a 4th row, just to make sure it's nice and thick. Front post and back post as before. There you can tell it's a front post. So the next one will be back post. So follow this all the way to the end again, and at the end we will be changing colours. So now I'm going to start with my pink wool. And in this next row we'll be chaining 3 again and turning our work. This one is just double crochets all the way across. So you find the V stitch at the top, insert your hook and do your double crochet through there. Now with this one, I will signal that I'm doing 4 rows of each colour. You don't have to do that, you can do 2 rows of each or 3 rows of each. It's entirely up to you, depends what you want to do. So you do this all the way to the end, chain 3, turn your work just as before, but just with double crochets this time. And do this 4 times if you wish, or less, it's up to you. And here I've changed colours again. And then you do the same as before, double crochets all along. Sometimes when you change colours, I like to just tie them loosely when I first join, so then they're not falling out of the stitches. It just helps. And you keep doing these stripes until you reach your desired height, which for a 6 to 12 months old, it's around about 7.5 inches. And then once you've done that, you fold it over and stitch all the way along the top and down the side. Now we're going to take on the eyes. I wanted pretty big eyes on this hat because the Cheshire Cat does have big eyes. So I'm going to do a slip knot, chain 2, and then in the second chain from the hook, that's where I'm going to put all my stitches to do a circle. And it's going to be 10 double crochets in the same chain. When you've done your 10th double crochet, slip stitch into the first double crochet that you made. Now to make the eye even bigger, we're going to chain 2, and then in every double crochet that you've made, do 2 double crochets to make the circle bigger. So you should end up with 20 stitches. Then slip stitch into the first double crochet, this first chain, that you made, and that's your first eye. So do the same again for the other eye. And then sew them onto your hat. Now we're going to make the pupils with black wool. I'm going to do the same as I did before, make a slip knot, chain 2, and then in the second chain from the hook, I'm going to do single crochets. And this time, I'm only doing 4. You want it just big enough to make the pupil. And then the same as before, after your 4th stitch, slip stitch into the first single crochet that you made. And then you need to make 2 of these and then sew them in place onto your yellow eyes. And this is what it looks like. And then for the nose, I did the same as before, but instead of 4 single crochets, I did 6. And then I'm going to place it in between the eyes, just like this. Now for your mouth, white wool, slip stitch, and chain until you get enough where it can make the big mouth of the Cheshire Cat. So I just chain a few stitches and then measure it against where I want to go. So if this is the first time doing this, do a few, measure it against your hat. If you need some more, make some more. If you need less, then just take a few off. And there you can see me measuring it against the hat. And that's just the right amount. Now to make the smile, in the first stitch, do a single crochet. In the second stitch, do a half double crochet. So you put your hook in, pull through a loop, hook again, and then pull through all 3. And for the rest of the mouth, you do a double crochet until the last 2 stitches. So go all along doing double crochets until you get to the last 2. Once you get to the last 2, you reverse what you did at the beginning. So the second to last, you do a half double crochet, pull up a loop, pull through all 3, and in the last one, do a single crochet. And then you sew that onto your hat, and you can stretch it about a bit if you wish to make it look more like a smile. Now I'm going to do eyebrows. I'm going to use the purple wool. You don't have to do this, this is an optional extra. I've just chained 8 stitches, and then in the second one from the hook, I'm just going to do single crochets all the way along. Feel free to pause this at any time so you can catch up. And then the last stitch, I've done a slip stitch to make it a little more pointy. Then cut your wool, do a second one, and then you can attach them to your hat. Place them where you want above the eyes, obviously. And this is what the front looks like. But then you can add a tail if you wish. So make a slip stitch. I'm starting with purple. You can make this as thick as you want. You can go 4, 5, 6 stitches if you wish. Depends what you want to do. And on this I did 3 rows of each colour until I got it nearly the height that I wanted. But as before, if you want to do 2 rows or 4 rows or whatever, it's up to you. Just single crochets all the way along. Now you alternate colours just as we did with the cat hat, and then when you get near to the top we're going to reduce it a bit so it's not a square. We're going to round it off by reducing stitches. Again, I'm changing colours. And chain 1, turn your work, carry on as before. Right, this is the top of the tail, so now I'm going to start reducing. So I'm going to do stitch 2 together. So you put your hook through one, pull up a loop, put it through the next stitch and pull up a loop, and then pull through all 3. The next one I'm just doing a single crochet. Then I'm doing another stitch 2 together, so you put your hook through one, pull up a loop, hook through the next one, pull up a loop and pull through all 3. Chain 1, turn your work, same again, stitch 2 together, pull through all 3, and then I'm doing a single crochet. This is basically just to make it a bit more rounded at the top. Chain 1, single crochet, and then you've got a point, and then cut your yarn, and then you can stitch that to the back of your hat. And I've stuck it on from the base, the brim, from there upwards. And this is your finished result. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you very much for watching.